Hi, all my gorgeous Pisces. Let me get adjusted here. This is your Pisces reading, your home light security reading for the month of May. Now, you guys have a lot going on. You guys have a lot going on. First off, I'm being told for many of you, stop being stubborn and inflexible and holding on to your comfort zones of being afraid to speak with authority. You're holding on to some crutch of fear of failure with some kind of relationship grief. I feel like it's not just the throat, it's the zeal point, which is back here. I keep talking about it all the time. It's heart chakra as well. Heart chakra, taking action, acceptance, speaking with authority, overcoming, for some of you, personal relationship grief, stubborn and flexible, holding on to bitterness and blame. Rather run around in a circle than to actually take action. But it all comes down to fearness of failure in some form, with some self-judgment. Is what I'm picking up for at least the people who I'm picking it up for. And I was told as I was starting this is you guys are also getting a lesson in higher education. And a part of this has to do with the fact you've had Jupiter here most of the year, which is higher knowledge, higher abundance, manifestation. It's the higher self in a form. And it leaves technically tomorrow, and it won't be back until October. So in a form, you're getting a lesson in higher education for the fact of getting comfortable with having it there, and now it's going. But it will be back with messages and lessons. So this is kind of like a trial period in a form. It's a trial period to go, well, did you really get the lesson? Or do I have to come back and slam dunk you a little bit more later to make sure you got the message? And they're really getting on me about some relationship grief. Maybe this is about not speaking up. Or personal judgment. Or maybe it's judgment from others if you do. But pretty much Spirit's giving me the fuck 'em, trust your intuition. Trust your intuition, trust your psychic abilities, trust your deeper reasoning for knowing. Stop questioning it, stop doubting it. You put too much off on others. And what I mean by putting it off on others is like wanting their acceptance, wanting their approval before you'll actually take action. When that's just a big waste of time. And all it does is make you feel weighed down and heavier in the physical world while you figure out what you already know you're going to do. So just freaking do it. So stop seeking others' approval. Yeah, because it's mainly what I'm picking up is trying to over control the situation. And maybe that you're trying to manipulate and sway the situation into working the way you want it to. Maybe into getting somebody else on board with your way of thinking, your desires. And that's not necessarily going to work. Might backfire. And waste time and just make you feel heavier while you're doing it. So really I'm getting from Spirit is just, that's all that's going to do is piss you off in the long run. So just stop the bullshit right from the beginning. Just don't go down that road. Because what they're giving me is like a major kink in my stomach, not my stomach, a kink in my neck. Like I can't even look that way. Like if I look that way, it's either that I can't, I won't, or I don't want to. Because like I said, I'm getting a kink in my neck, which is making me feel like I can't turn that direction. That has to do in one form with either trying to over control the situation. Either way, it's not going to work. What they're giving me is don't try to outsmart us. We already see. Was what my guides were giving me is you're trying to use the manipulation of owning that Neptune magic for your own, but and turning it to manipulate for you, but it's a situation you need to go through, so it's not going to work. Whether you're doing it from fear of failure or you're manipulating and trying to avoid and redirect the situation, it's not going to work. It's still going to come out eventually. And all that it's going to do by trying to force it to go your way is make you not deal with insecurities that you have to overcome, force you to do it a little later, but you're still going to get stuck with it. It's going to make you hold on to bitterness and blame, keep you inflexible, and keep you feeling heavy, wondering and doubting and questioning about the situation. So stop it, is what they're giving me. For whoever this is for, or however, I hope you understand, because I just know what I'm giving you. They're saying for some of you, it's also a pride issue. You have doubt over the situation and where it's going to go, so you're trying to push it in a direction, and that still isn't going to work. Long story short, it's the direction that needs to happen is going to happen, whether you like it or not. But it's not one of those like the outer world and the authority being pushed over you. It's being directed from the higher energy into a new level, a new direction, putting you either on the right path or keeping you on the right path. Trying to lift you out of the three-dimensional bullshit is what I literally just heard, and into more of the truth. Stop trying to be perfect. What do you fear is going to happen if you lose control, lose power over the situation? Because you're trying to voice it. And I don't feel like it's a bad thing. I feel like whatever it is, you're trying to manipulate, you're trying to push your direction, you're trying to make it go your way, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but the bigger agenda here is not the way you're expecting it to play out. And it doesn't matter how hard you try to push the agenda, it's going to work out the way it's going to work out. And the harder you try, the more disappointment you're going to feel. So stop trying to control a situation that's already controlled by them, by the energies, the universal energy, whatever it is, so to speak, your guides. I don't know. I just know that I'm getting, you're trying to force it to do one thing, and it's not going to do that. And, well, it makes some sense when we start looking into the astrology, but I don't want to go there just yet. I feel like there's something I'm not getting. There's something I'm not hearing, and I'm not hearing it because I'm not meant to. It's not for my ears. But what they're messing with my ears now. So it has something to do with maybe you're not hearing what you need to hear. Maybe, like I said, maybe you're not hearing what you need to hear, or you don't want to hear what's being said to you. You'd rather suppress it. But it has something to do with the action, both spiritual and physical, that you need to take. And no matter how much you try to get around it, it's going to be to where you're going to take those actions. You're going to go in that direction. You're going to do it. So stop trying to have control over it. It's like trying, the best way of explaining it is like, I don't know how else to use it other than like, you have to give it up to God, one of those situations, and then you give it up to God, but then you're trying to control it. And I use that makes sense now. I use that as an example a lot where I'm like, your guides, your angels, whatever, are standing on like the left side of you, jumping up and down, being like, hey, we want you to come this way. And you just are concerned with looking this way. And they're like, damn it. She's looking over there, but what we need her to do is go this way. And you just refuse to look the way you're supposed to look. You just keep trying to look the wrong direction and trying to take control over the situation while you at the same time was like, please help me. But help me in only the direction I want to be helped, is what you're really saying. And that's not the way it's going to work, is what they're saying. Some of this has to do with pride, with creative expression, jealousy, inadequacy, fear, lack of understanding, insecurity. But that's all part of letting go of having control over something that you weren't. I say this a lot when I'm dealing with Libra energy, because I'm like, Libras try to force harmony and balance, because that's what Libra does. It's justice, harmony, and balance. So they try to force harmony and balance and justice into areas where it's not meant to be. It's meant to unravel so that it can actually be created into harmony and balance. And what I feel like is going on here is a lot of that. Is like you're trying to force harmony and balance into an area that it's not meant to be. And the more you do, the longer you're prolonging it and the harder it's going to backfire. Where if you give it up and trust in, your guides, your intuition, your knowing, instead of trying to have control and manipulate the situation, you'll find out it will actually work better in the long run. But trying to force it is just prolonging it and going to make it harder. Are we done? It definitely has to do with the throat and the zeal point, speaking with authority, hearing what's being said to you. You might want to try some healing work in this area in general, or if you don't know anything about the zeal point, you can always Google it. You can even Google frequencies, on YouTube for the zeal point. But if not, you might want to work on trying to balance and unblock energies between the throat and the third eye. Because there's something going on with the supernatural highway that I coulda, shoulda, woulda, trying to take responsibility for shit that's just not yours. And then putting yourself into the disappointment of it when it wasn't yours in the first place. I don't know. That's just the way I'm getting it. All right. Let me read this because my cards are bouncing around and I don't know which one to pick. So, for the month of May, also, before I go any further, if you are interested, I have an Etsy shop. It is LSF Sanctuary LLC, Etsy. And because we're coming into Mercury retrograde, I have a retrograde kit that I am letting everybody know about. All of my products that I make, my essential oils and my sprays, my mists and stuff, for one, they all have fulgurite in them, which is a strike of lightning where it has hit the sand, soil, or the rock. And it is 5D and higher. It helps with communication with your spirit guides, yourself, as well as the world around you. I can never say it, Kundalini energies, and so forth. All of my essential oils and my products are designed and formulated with guidance from spirit for their highest level of spiritual energy and spiritual growth. Well, the retrograde kit is good for Mercury retrograde, but for any retrograde, as well as I always explain, just because the planets are or aren't in retrograde does not mean that you are or aren't. And what that means is are you stuck in communication with yourself in an unhealthy way? And are you needing help with that? Well, the retrograde kit comes with a spray, which is for clarity. It's for you to spray, like maybe in your cubicle or your office, to help bring clarity to your thinking. But then the mercury oil and the Rahu oil also come with it. And the mercury oil, all of these oils, like I said, are formulated with spirit, but they're also created with different crystals as well as the fulgurite. And mercury oil is all about self-love, self-value, self-esteem, liberation, and acceptance, so that you can get on board with what you need to. And then the Rahu is all about breaking patterns and re-steering karma in a healthy way. So between the three, it is a great kit for you to use any time of the year that you need, whether you're in retrograde, the planets are, or you are. Either way, check it out if there's anything you want for cord cutting along any of these lines. You can check out my Etsy shop, LSF Sanctuary LLC, and you will find all kinds of stuff there. Now, with that being said, this month we have a lot going on. Now, you have Mercury, which is going retrograde on the 10th in Gemini. However, it will not stay in Gemini. It's going to go back into Taurus on the 22nd. So it is shifting its energy in mid-retrograde. Now, you also have Jupiter on the 10th, which is moving out of Pisces, which is part of that energy that they were just talking about, and into Aries. Jupiter is the higher abundance. It is the knowledge. It is the higher self. And in a form, its manifestation is leaving your sign, moving into Aries. And it won't be back until around, I think, October. So this is a moment of, like throwing the bird off of the limb, off the nest, and see if it can fly. Kind of what you're getting is a little bit of that energy. Have you learned the lesson? Are you ready to fly, or do we still have to work on you some? Now you have the lunar eclipse, which is taking place in Scorpio, which is giving so much of this energy off right now. It takes place on the 16th. The sun moves into Gemini on the 20th. You have Mercury, which goes retrograde out of Gemini and into Taurus on the 22nd. Most movement is going to start taking place around the 24th, when Mars leaves Pisces, your sign, and moves into Aries. This is where the energy is going to start to pick up a flow and start moving like a whirlwind. Then you have the 28th. You have Venus, which is moving into Taurus. Both Mars and Venus are moving into their home signs, giving them incredible power. But not until the butt end of this month. So until then, we're kind of maturing in a growth. We're not quite there yet. We're marinating. Yeah, we're marinating in the energy of that reflection and its growth. Now, okay, I'm just going for both of them, because I have a couple decks that are all kind of like just jumping out at me and not fully making sense, because you can't have like 8 decks. I'm sorry. You just can't. I don't want to be here all day. What does Pisces need to hear for May? What does Pisces need to hear for the month of May to help them move forward? My ears are getting really, really, really hot. So you need to hear what's being said to you. I'm sorry for laughing. It's just one of the ways that it's coming out. You are getting Thoth. Illumination. Thoth or Thoth, however you want to pronounce it. If you're not big on Egyptian mythology, he is the big brain. He is also known a lot of times as Metatron for the archangels. He is the knowledge keeper, okay? Thoth is coming through with illumination. He's bringing you wisdom, enlightenment, and communication. And what was the first thing I said, Spirit said? You're getting a dose of higher education right now. Then what's coming with it is life force energy, purification. You have the snake with the eye of horse, or the eye of Ra, however you want to see it. is purification and divine awakener. So you're being shown the facts. You're being shown the facts, and you're only midway through, is what I just was told. And there is some disappointment coming in because some of you, that life force energy is not what you thought it was. For some of you, that purification is not what you think it is, and it's going to shift. You're going to be shown the difference and the direction to go, but this is definitely through this month. You want to allow this eye to direct you. Understand also, snakes are an energy that need heat. They need love. They need vibration. They need warmth. This is part of the illumination. Are you giving yourself the love, the warmth, the heat that you need from others? Are you getting it from the ones that are around you? That has a lot to do with the truth of the people that you are surrounded with as well. Is there anything else here? Stop going to the bottom of the deck. Is there anything else here for Pisces before I switch to the other deck? Anything? You are getting the dove. This is a moment of purity, a moment of innocence. Wow. They were just trying to make me say a moment of excellence, a moment of innocence, a moment of purity, a moment of the highest levels of yourself coming through in truth. If you're willing, really, is what it comes down to, because it's going to be there. It's going to be showing yourself. Just will you damn it? Will you allow it to teach you what it needs to teach you and to help you move? Sorry, I picked up 2 cards on accident. The Fool card. Take a chance. Try something new. Don't do what you always do. The Fool card is considered the first card. It's the Joker. It's the Joker in the sense of nothing really fucking matters, man. And the only thing that matters is what you choose to make matter. And you make it matter. I don't really care. I mean, it's kind of, that's the energy. It's like, I can be whatever in the world you want me to be. So what do you want me to be? I mean, this is why I always say stay in cartoon land. I'm sorry, this is what they're making me do. Is coming into my cartoon land. I'm just getting like the whole Joker thing going on. I can be whatever you want. I can manifest any direction you want. I can do whatever you want. You know what? Because as I'm the high priestess, I got the power. I got the magic. I can do anything. Yeah, it's just where do we want to go? Do we want to lie? Do we want to tell the truth? What do we want to do? So this is asking you, what are you feeding it? What are you being? What are you creating? Where are you taking it? Are you taking it to the same old, same old? Are you staying with the same old, same old? If you can't jump off the cliff, it doesn't count when you have a net. Is what they just said. It doesn't count to jump off the cliff when you know the net is there. You have to know it's here. And there's nothing that can be taken away. This has to, this has to do with you finding your deeper reasoning, your deeper truth. I'm sorry. It's just the way they make me do things. I can't help it. You are getting the 4 of Wands, which is also coming through. It is finding the harvest. It is crossing from the past and into the future. It is making the movement forward, reaping the new. It is completing the cycle and beginning a new road. Satisfaction of that highest point. It all comes down to, I mean, what are you going to be? You're going to be the same old version? You're going to be somebody new? I mean, we can be anything we want to be. We're magic. We can do whatever we want. Are you going to take the new road? Or are you afraid to cross that road? Really, that's what this is coming down to. Is there anything else here? Yeah, I knew that last deck was not going to shut up. What else does Pisces need to hear before we get into the astrology for the month? Oh, Pisces. Thank you. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. You, if you are doing all of this right, you are coming into your great power. Great power. You are coming into your great power. You are staring down birth. You are empowering the transformation from death. You're letting go of something and coming into something new. Just like I was saying, this is strengthening of the character. This is strengthening of your authority. This is finding dignity. This is influencing through the power of who and what you are. Self confidence, finding your own inner leadership, potency, potential. This is a great card. You are going through a moment of higher education. Just what are you going to do with it and where are you going to take it? That's what's up to you. And are you going to help you grow? Let me put some of these cards away real fast. I missed that, Spirit. I know you just turned something green, but I don't know what it was. It was not that. Y'all are funny. They're asking, what do you value? Ask yourself, what do you value? Because that has something to do with where this energy is taking you for this month. What is the values? Your own personal values, your self values, your business values, your home values. What are your values? What's important? What matters? What doesn't? No denial. Get deep. Get real. Really, that's where we're going. I mean, so because these eclipses are no joke. The first one already took place in Taurus. The second one is about to take place on the 16th. This is coming into Scorpio energy, which is all about transformation. So it's like double down on the transformation and about desire and truth versus, is it self-sabotaging desires? Spirit there. Okay. What they're giving me before I get into the astrology is, and I've been saying it on pretty much every one of these, is there's a difference between overindulging and ecstasy versus like false and fake ecstasy. Some people will look at like the moment during sex as ecstasy. Some people will look at it as like chocolate is ecstasy, or or whatever your little fix is that gives you that. Don't you want that all the time? But not in a bad way. Not in a way that, like can be drug related and ultimately pull you down. You don't want the ecstasy that is false, that ends up going away, that ends up making you realize everything you forgot in the end. That's illusion. True ecstasy is coming to a state of that is so good that, it's tickling inside. Don't you want to find that kind of enjoyment in life that sticks, that continues? This is the direction we're trying to take you, not the false one that you can have temporarily and then it wears off and, oh shit, now I gotta go do this and this and this and this and this. We're trying to move ourselves away from that. We're moving ourselves into a higher frequency, a higher vibration. All that is good for us. But we have to realize where we're happy with false indulgence, false excellence, false, satisfaction and erotic energy of ourselves versus, false versus real. Where is it that it fades away? Where is it that the drug is over? You got to find the drug that lasts to get you there, so to speak. And what about yourself helps you locate that is what they're trying to get at. What about yourself helps you locate that? Now, okay. When I do these, I always start out where the sun is, because wherever the sun is the energy you're actually walking through, while the others is what's happening around you, but versus the energy that's you're walking through. Now, right now, Pisces, your energy is in Taurus, which is your third house, up until the 20th when the sun moves into Gemini. This is important stuff right here because it's your third house and your fourth house, kind of going this way. And what I mean by that is you have Mercury in your fourth house, but it's going to leave your fourth house, come back into your third house. You have the sun, which is in your third house, and it's moving towards your fourth house. So they're going to go like this. Now, your third house is your house of communication. Right now, that's got the sun in it, that has the North Node in it, and that has Uranus in it. And Uranus is still going to be here for like about 5 more years, something like that. So Uranus is your independence, your individuality, your uniqueness, your freedom, your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem. And it is in your third house, your communication. This is how you communicate with yourself independently, finding yourself liberated or lack thereof it. The sun is illuminating if you're feeling that liberation or the lack thereof it. The North Node is giving you everything you need to know about how to communicate what you truly want, how to Venus that communication into working for you and manipulating it to work for you, but without having to be manipulative, because you mean it. And the reason I'm saying it that way is you got Venus, you've got Mercury in your fourth house, just about to come back into your third house. Mercury's in retrograde. Right now, that communication is looking outwardly at everything in a negative way. That communication is in your fourth house, your inner emotional security, the vessel. Not just the home and the roof over your head, the roots and from what you came from, but the soul itself, the body, which you can't get away from. Okay, so it's your inner emotional security, what makes you feel secure. Having your bills paid, your roof over your head, knowing that everything is okay. Yes, that's one thing that makes you feel secure. But knowing that physically you're healthy, knowing that you can't lose yourself, knowing that your soul is more powerful and being able to manifest it magically and entwined with the universe is just as powerful as that bill getting paid and that roof over your head, because you can manifest it and bring it into reality. However, Mercury is here in retrograde, meaning it's going to start talking to you all this negative chatter. Mercury doesn't speak outwardly when it's in retrograde. It only speaks to you. So it gets too much in your mind and too much in your head. And it's going to be asking you about your inner emotional security. And are you secure? Have you been nurturing it? Have you been neglecting it? Should we point our fingers outwardly and look at these things? And what are we communicating outwardly? So it's going to take that communication to yourself, intertwine with the communication of the outer world. And are you trying to manipulate the conversation to work for you when in honesty, you already know that you're manipulating yourself into believing something that it's not? And that's because it's Mercury retrograde. Like I said, Uranus in your third house is your independence, your individuality, your uniqueness, your freedom, your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem, knowing how to speak liberated, get what you're desiring by standing up for yourself and not having to manipulate, by doing what you already are supposed to be doing. And then the North Node is saying, have you learned this, or are you still manipulating the situation with the Mercury retrograde and actually going nowhere because you're truthfully in a denial of lies about the truth, about seeing the communication you're creating? Are you listening to this? or the outer world? And are you trusting in this or the outer world? The inner emotional security will give you everything you need because you're building the manifestation from it. If you're not, then the outer world already has the power and to take it away from you because you've given it that power. So which one is it? Are you going to trust in that individuality, uniqueness, freedom? You're going to trust in your own liberation by standing up for yourself and communicating what you truly want and desire? Or are you going to try to wiggle your way around anything but the truth to get what you want? Because if you're wiggling your way around anything but the truth to get what you want, that's what Spirit was saying is going to backfire. This is time for you to get really, really honest and get that higher education of not having to do that bullshit anymore. Now, you have you come into your 5th house. This is Cancer energy. The 5th house is your creative expression. It's your inner child, your inner fun. It's where your interests take point, where it's what you want to be part of, what you enjoy, what makes you what makes you want to be part of life. I have a friend who, they love the beach. And anytime they get a chance, that's where they go. It doesn't matter if they're even alone. And I'm sure he's listening and laughing right now. But my point is, that's one of his places. Whenever he can get to his own point, no matter what he's doing, partying or not, emotionally indifferent, who cares? He gets away, he gets to the beach, and that's his zen. Are you getting time for your zen? Whoever you are. Are you getting time for what makes you tick, what makes you enjoy life? Some people, that is, music and making the music or writing the songs. For some people, that's an actor. For some people, that's painting. For some people, it's different hobbies. For some people, it's jogging. For some people, it's, lifting weights. What is it that makes you enjoy being here, breathing this air, breathing this life, being part of this life? What makes it sacred and fun and enjoying? Are you getting the time for that? Because if not, this is where we're starting to have the problem. You have Lilith in Cancer, which is this energy for you. Lilith here is very much, she shows you very much the opposite of what she really wants. Lilith in Cancer is not very powerful. She's submissive. She gives that energy away. When in truth, she needs to be taking it. She needs to be, standing in that independence and showing, this is why I'm great. This is why, getting into that inner child, inner play, inner expressive. If your favorite artist never had the balls to get out there and play the music, to write those songs, if your favorite actor never was able to touch base in with their own soul self enough to where they would make you cry when you watch that movie or that song that made you, if they weren't able to do that, then you would have never felt that. So why don't you give that to yourself? This is a part of that expression that I'm talking about. This is about needing to take that identity, needing to step into that creative expression, because you're going to learn something more about yourself that's sacred, that's beautiful, that nobody can take away. But are you having the time to do it? Because with Lilith being here, she's very submissive. And we'll go, it's okay, I can get back to that later. When really you need to be getting into that inner play, that inner pursuit of pleasure, that inner fun, because that is an inner doorway to your truth. And if you're not expressing that truth to yourself, you're giving that energy away to someone else and actually keeping you from being exactly who you were meant to be. So this is definitely saying not a time to be submissive about your inner you, your inner creative expression, your inner fun, your inner talent, You know, this is a time for you, if you are an artist, to get out there and start working on that and allow that flow to go, because that inner creativity, that inner child, that inner fun, that inner pursuit of pleasure, and making sure you have time for that independence and that expression is going to balance a lot of things for you. But if you don't give yourself that time, you're giving away the lesson. Just being honest, man. Now, as you come into your ninth house, is where this eclipse is about to take place. Your ninth house is Scorpio. Scorpio is all about transformation, yo. Scorpio is all about transformation. It is the life, the death, the rebirth of the transformation of any relationship that you keep, of it being able to continue to grow and inspire you and to continue to be part of life instead of just becoming something that's stagnant and you're bored with it. It's also fertility. It's also reproduction and energy. So like I said, there's many things that go on with Scorpio. It's desire. It's fun. But it can also take it a little overboard. And right now you have the South Node here in Scorpio, which is your ninth house. So this is really getting into your ethics, your morals, your spiritual truth, your reasoning for being. It's getting into your philosophy, your rituals. It's getting into your books, your higher knowledge, so to speak, which is what Spirit was saying in the beginning. And the South Node is everything you're good at, but it's not good for you. So this is saying, are you taking the transformational change that's coming with this eclipse to learn who you are, to branch out on who you are and what you want to happen in your life? Because that's the only way to know what can happen within the relationships that you keep and the direction that you choose to steer this boat as to what's going on. What is your ethics? What is your morals? Do you stand by them? Or are you trying to manipulate the truth of them to yourself? Are you learning that there's more to life than what you thought? Are you learning there's more to the spiritual truth than what you originally thought? You're learning the vastness of everything you didn't understand. Because you're ruled by Neptune, you are open to this energy. You also are open to the manipulation of the magic, and you can steer it positive or negative, depending on if you want to put on rose sunglasses, and act like you're only living in the world that you created, versus did you really create the world around you to be what you wanted? Is it going to be rose glasses, faking it, and I'm manipulating it while I'm in denial so that I can pretend that I don't see the truth while I continue to live that lie? Or are you going to actually create it to where those rose glasses aren't needed? You're ruled by Neptune. You have the power. This is understanding where you morally, where you spiritually don't believe in the depths of your own power. Don't believe in the depths of your true soul self, where you're learning to actually feel the power, the illumination, the energy of that vibration, if you take the chance on you. But if you're in mischief and in manipulating that truth to yourself, then you'll miss the whole point here. And there's so much of a healthy lesson here that can change your whole world, unless you're in denial. Hey man, I just say it the way I see it. Now you have your 10th house. No, your 11th house is the outer world. The 11th house is the goals, the dreams, the memberships in which you are a part of. You only have a year I'm out with Scorpio. No, I mean, with Pluto still here in Capricorn, setting the foundation for the world you're trying to create. This is Pluto, death, decay, and destruction for renewal, rebirth, regeneration. This is showing you the alliances that you have help support whether those rose sunglasses are on or whether you're actually having the power. Or is it really truthfully being created? Or is it illusion in which you're still in a cage, but you like telling yourself differently? So this is saying your alliances, your groups, your memberships, either they help you support finding that creative interest, that spark, that sacred part of your inner child that allows you to bring that expression to the world that only you have, or they're trying to keep you from it because they've got more important ideas of their own for their own agenda to get you directed into what they want, but not necessarily what's best for you. And this is death, decay, and destruction for renewal, rebirth, regeneration. It's coming directly into the alliances of the outer community. Your groups, your work friends, your friends' friends. What are you a part of? Does it support what you really desire? Is it getting you to the life you desire, or the rose glass idea, fake illumination, fake illusion of the world that you want? Are you able to be on the beach when you want to be? Or can you only just kind of like see it on TV shows and imagine it? Or are you bringing it truly into manifestation? This is all part of where we're going. You know, and whatever energy it is, that's that sacred energy for you. Now, lastly, but definitely not least, your 12th house has Saturn in it. What have we been talking about? Rules, walls, boundaries within the alliances of knowing where you're getting in your own way by not setting the boundaries to support you nourishing your liberation, your growth, by acknowledging where you're ignoring your inner growth, your inner blame, shame, guilt, where you're holding on to energies that aren't yours. They're done and over with. It is your self-sabotage. Where are you as a Pisces? The Pisces who brings home the stray dog because you have such a good heart and you want to believe in the magical world, but you keep picking the stray dog that robbed you blind. Versus where are you picking the ones that actually help you find the fortune? I love you guys. Bye.